What if I told you Coco is actually also the best tank in the game? Well, maybe not the best tank in the game, but in this one very specific scenario for a very select group of people, Coco is actually absolutely busted, even more than we already knew. Now, again, I love talking about free-to-play strategies, spender strategies. Today leans more towards the spender side of things, but if you do have these heroes or you're building towards this team, you might have this situation come up on your own account where you can actually make use of this, because I went from like 25th rank all the way up to like 13th in a matter of one single day thanks to this strategy. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Make sure you guys take 1 second, hit that subscribe button. Let's just keep talking about how overpowered this hero Coco is. Yes, we are talking about the Alpha Bear Primal Lord. Now, not everybody's gonna have this unlocked. Remember, these bosses unlock certain time frames from when your server started. So if you started on day one, you guys have already been fighting the Alpha Bear. If you started a few days after the start of global launch, you might just be getting the Alpha Bear open up. But what if I told you the strategy that we are using now is actually using Coco as a tank hero? Yes, she's still supporting and everything, but it actually turns out that even spenders have to use a dual support setup in order to get the max damage against this Primal Lord. They actually buffed this one. Remember the Wolf they nerfed from the PTR? This one they extremely buffed since the PTR. So you're going to be using her and you're going to be using Smokey on a team. After that, you're going to be using your typical damage dealers, but those two support heroes are going to be very, very key. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how this works. Now, we haven't got our hits in today just yet, which is why we dropped to 16th, but previously, before using this strategy with the same team, I went from like rank 25 all the way up to 13. Now, we might actually get a new high, because the other thing you have to remember, if you didn't check out yesterday's video, we are now at Resonance 266. We keep pushing our heroes higher and higher because we got to 240. Unlocked Resonance Synergy. Again, if you guys haven't seen how to do this, check out yesterday's video to see how that's done. And then the other key component here is going to be Rhine. And of course, Mythic Plus, as always, is required for this strategy. Just about like 90% of strategies in this game require Mythic Plus on heroes, which for Rainier is going to be a strategy free to play have to wait quite a while for. Granted, you can still swap her to the front row, but I would not advise it without his ability to have her heal. So this is what our team actually looks like. We are going to be having our Smokey at the front line. We're going to have swapped Coco be the tank, because remember, you need one hero within one tile of this boss. If you don't have someone within one tile, he basically just destroys your team. And then beyond that, we are running a Corin and Merrily type team, which still gives us the 3+2 setup. Technically, we could drop one of them for an Odie to get a 4-time setup, which gives us a little bit more attack. Because remember, Celestial and Hypogen heroes count as pretty much +1 to whatever faction you have. So the different team composition, you could drop, well, not Coco. Coco definitely needs to be. You could drop, God, I hate sometimes how these are laid out when there's a big character. You drop her out and put Odie in, and technically that would give you a little bit better of a bonus, but yeah, I've just been really enjoying Corin because I got his exclusive leveled up. I also have Merrily, which I can't even click right now, but she's also got hers, and this is the team that we're using. So essentially what's happening is we are using Coco to be that tank right in the front row, and you can see she gets teleported right to the boss. The boss is now also taking 25% more damage because of that Mythic Plus that we have on Rainier with his exclusive, and then of course we have his exclusive leveled up to 10, so that any damage done to the boss actually heals the swap target, aka our Coco. So you'll notice here that we need multiple things here. Now Coco really gets better too when she has her exclusive, because when the damage reduction wears off, she will provide her team with shields. Shields are going to be very helpful against this boss, because this boss lowers the total amount of healing that you can receive. And even here, we kind of got like a kind of bad setup, and we only lasted 42 seconds. We only did, what, 20, which still is really good. But you can see, even with those two support heroes, your team is going down so quickly. Merrily went down very fast this time. I'm kind of wondering if I should drop Merrily out, because she's a little squishy here. But 20 million is solid. That's still pretty much a record high. If we want to stay in the top 20, if we need to get to a higher rank, like what's top 10? Ooh, 21. Let's try this. Let's see what would happen if we drop out, say, Merrily, and instead run our Odie. Because again, this is giving us a better faction bonus. It's giving more HP and attack. The more HP might allow us to survive, and if Merrily's dying off very early anyway, maybe Odie can survive a little bit better. We'll have to see. The downside is you can't control anything in these boss battles. I really wish you could control when ultimates went off, because you could get such a better score. Sadly, all boss battles are just auto. You don't get to control them, which kind of sucks. Let's see how we look here with a 4-person lineup now. Odie doing his ultimate there, getting his nice damage in as well. We're up to 19. Let's see what happens. This is where we typically take tons of damage. Odie lived a little bit, but it didn't seem that much better. You can see that damage is basically not survivable, but getting to that point is kind of one of the most important things. You can notice, I'll show you guys, because most people are probably running something more along the lines of doing this. I would say doing some sort of team like this, where they're also running like a Thorin as your front row. That or a Kruger or something like that for damage, physical damage reduction and everything. I'll show you guys what it looks like without Coco. A lot of times we die before even getting to the point where we get one shot. Anyway, now I don't know if there's strategies that let you live past that like 40-second mark. I have not seen one just yet, and it doesn't seem like many other people have that strategy because they're all pretty close in damage numbers here. Merrily might survive better now because she's linked to the boss, so she has additional healing. I feel like this is probably going to be a lower number, but let's see how this turns out, because you never know once your team powers up. You can see heroes are starting to die off because of that, and yeah, you can see instantly our damage is lower compared to when we were running Coco, because you also have to remember, Coco does give us some bonus attack, which is kind of nice. It does help us out. It probably stacks pretty well with our Odie, but again, there's two things that really there's one thing in this strategy that absolutely has to happen. And that's this right here. I mean, it has to happen, because otherwise you're not using him. You're not using him if you're not reducing the position switch allies damage taken by 25%. You're not increasing the damage by 25% for the boss. So that's the big thing. I guess the EX10 is not as important. It's really just getting his exclusive unlocked, adding that additional 25% damage to the boss. And then also having a Coco strong enough. So again, I'm trying to show you guys free-to-play strategies. This one just so happens to not be very free-to-play friendly. But the second I did this, we literally gained like 2 to 3 million damage on this boss. And as you guys see in the rankings, 2 to 3 million damage is quite a bit, because even from like here up to the top of the list, you can see they're barely hitting for more. It's just coming from more damage from their damage dealers. And then you drop down, you see a big cutoff here. Once you drop down, that's that difference of about 2 to 3 million damage that we just made up by using this strategy. So did I bite myself in the butt by showing people this and then people on my server are gonna beat me? Maybe. We'll have to see. But hopefully you guys find this strategy helpful. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'll see you guys next time.